إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وآل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد أما بعد عباد الله. All praise due to Allah and His praise and blessings and peace be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. All praise due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His blessings and peace and praise be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, his family, his companions and his followers until the day of judgment. I bear witness that Allah is the only one worthy of worship and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam his last and final messenger. I mentioned this before in one of my khutbah, but no problem to mention it again. In this cold weather, I really feel bad for the brothers in the back who's sitting on the tile against the wall. It's kind of cold for you. So first of all, it is the right thing to do when you come to the masjid not to sit in the back, even if you have a chair. It's to sit in the front. The Prophet ﷺ, when a man came, and he came to the masjid and he sat far away from the crowd, and Nabi ﷺ said, أَعْرَضَ فَأَعْرَضَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُ. He sat away and Allah set him away. So that's why the ulama rahimahullah said, when you come and you see a gathering, come closer. But my suggestion for you, bring a chair and sit on it. I'm in your shoes, I'll bring a chair and sit. It's absolutely fine. And when you finish the chair, when you finish the khutbah and you want to pray, you can just take the chair and put it on the side. But I just don't want you to get cold or, with the cold tile. So just as a side point for you all. Because some people don't know that they are allowed to do that. You're allowed to do that. You can put the chair, you can sit. It doesn't need to be sitting on the floor. There is nothing in Islam saying you have to sit on the floor. Just when you pray, you have to stand up. But you can put your chair and sit on it, and when you finish, you put it on the side. We're trying to make this as convenient as it is for you guys and to make sure that you guys are safe and have a good learning experience. Today I would like to speak about something very common happening these days, which is a New Year resolutions. Many people make a New Year resolutions with the beginning of the year. 8% of these resolutions only get to see the light. Only to basically, for 8% of those people only able to achieve their New Year resolutions. Only 8%. And guess what? 80% of those people, their New Year resolutions end by February. Fail by February. 80% of the New Year resolutions made in the United States basically fail or fall apart by February. So good news for Dairy Queens and fast food restaurants, they will get you back by February. If you're planning to do a diet, that gym membership that you signed for it only lasts 28 days or 29 days. But unfortunately, people don't usually succeed in their resolutions and their goals. And today I was reflecting upon that and reading this scary statistic. It said we are part of the society. And no doubt that having a goals and resolutions is such a noble, great, excellent idea. Not here to discourage you from having a New Year resolution. But I'm here today helping myself and all of you with certain guidelines, certain tips, as few reminders, few words that you might walk away today with them. It will help you to maintain these goals and to be able to achieve them in your life. Regardless what type of goals that you have, what kind of change that you want to see in your life, what kind of achievement that you are seeking in your life, in the deen or in the dunya, it doesn't really matter as long as you take these tools. If we look and study the life of successful people who really made a difference in life, in their own life and other people's life, leaders, successful people, in all areas, you will find certain common factors between them. Obviously, those successful people, usually their success doesn't come because they have a New Year resolutions. They do resolutions every month and every, basically maybe period of their time. They always have these goals and they have plans and they basically develop themselves. But we see clearly in their life certain common factors between them. Some people have very big dreams. Once, and I'll start with a story, happened in Hijr, in Al-Hijr, which is known as Hijr Ismail. Al-Hijr, which is basically that, arch around Al-Kaaba. They were sitting inside that Hijr, 3 brothers, Abdullah ibn al-Zubayr, and Urwah ibn al-Zubayr, and Mus'ab ibn al-Zubayr. 3 of them. And with them, one of their best friends, Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu wa an abih. So they said, what is your wishes? What's your plan? What do you want to be? Their dreams. So Abdullah ibn Zubayr said, أَمَّا أَنَا فَأَتَمَنَّ الْخِلَافَةِ. My wish is to be the Khalifa, to be the Caliph, to be the leader, or the president. أَمَّا عُرْوَةَ فَقَالَ وَأَمَّا أَنَا فَأَتَمَنَّ أَنْ يُؤْخَذَ عَنِّي الْعِلْمِ. Urwa said, my wish to be a scholar, to be a person people learn from me. And Mus'ab ibn Zubayr said, as for me, my wish, أن أولى إمارة العراق. I will be the governor of Iraq. وأن أجمع بين عائشة بنت طلحة وسكينة بنت الحسين. He said, as for my wish to be the governor of Iraq and to be married to these 2 women in the same time. Aisha, the daughter of Talha, and Sakina, the daughter of Al-Hussein. They all looked at the 4th one, Abdullah ibn Umar, and they asked him, and what about you? قال أما أنا فأرجو أن يغفر الله لي. Abdullah ibn Umar said, as for me, my wish really is to be forgiven. All my sin, whatever wrong I did in my life, to be forgiven. So Abdurrahman ibn Abi Zinad, who reported the story from his father told him, son, I witnessed all of these people's life and I saw it in front of my eyes. As for Urwa, he became the Grand Mufti of Medina, one of the most noble faqih and grand scholars that ever known in the history. As Mus'ab, he married these 2 women and he became the governor of Iraq. As of Abdullah ibn Zubayr, he became the Khalifa for a while until basically Abdul Malik ibn Marwan was basically killed him later on. He said all of them have got what they asked for or wished for, and I hope that Abdullah ibn Umar also got what he was seeking. Umar ibn Abdul Aziz rahimahullah, he said, I have very ambitious soul. قال لي نفس تواقة. Every time I achieve something, I look for something bigger and higher. He said, when I was young in Medina, I used to play with the kids and I see people in the masjid seeking knowledge. So when I was a child, I said, I will be a student of knowledge. And I started seeking knowledge until I became a knowledgeable person. When I became young, like in his late teenagers, around 18, he said, my wish is to marry this beautiful, well-mannered woman, Fatima, the daughter of the Khalifa. Then he said, Fatima bint Abdul Malik. And he said, I married her. I work on that until I got married to her. قال ثم اشتاقت نفسي أن أكون واليا للمدينة. My soul also has an ambition to be the leader of Medina, to play the same role of the governor of Medina, the Prophet ruled, and play that role and to apply justice in Medina. And I became the governor of Medina and Al-Hijaz. Then my soul, or my nafs, I'm so ambitious to be the Khalifa after that. And I became the Khalifa, even though he never was in the line to be successor for the throne. But he became the Khalifa for a story that is known in history. Then he was asked, and now what? He said, what I'm now looking for is Al-Jannah. And that's basically what I'm focused on to work on. And Imam al-Nawawi, rahimahullah, you might heard this name, al-Nawawi. Everywhere you go in the world, you see one of his books. When he was young, he said, one of his goals in life is to introduce the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ to the public, to the people. قال, he said that one of my wishes, قال أن أعرض حديث رسول الله على الناس. So he wrote a small, tiny book. It called the Collections of An-Nawawi, 40 hadith that he collected. Every corner on this earth today, you will find a copy of this book. Most of people, there is many books written, it's called the 40 hadith, the 40 hadith. But it became automatically, when you think the 40 hadith, you think of An-Nawawi. الأربعين النووية مع أن العلماء كتبوا كثير في الأربعينات. Many books written, أربعين الآجرية, أربعين كذا. But his book became very famous. Then he wrote another book. He said this one, first one, for the masses. And he wrote another book for the people who a little bit higher, like basically intermediate level. He called it Riyadh al-Salihin, which has became very famous everywhere in the world. Every masjid you go. I went to islands in Hawaii. I went to islands in Guam. Islands inside Guam. There is no birds in these islands. It's in birds that didn't reach there. I'm serious. And I found the masjid there, and I found inside the masjid they're reading Riyadh al-Salihin by Imam Nawawi rahimahullah. Then he said, after that I decided to write a book which is a little bit advanced. And he wrote one of the most beautiful explanation of hadith that you can ever read in your life. He explained the book of Sahih Muslim rahimahullah. شرح النووي على مسلم من أجمل ما تقرأ من كتب شروح الحديث. There is a young boy, when he was a child, his mother used to take him next to the sea, and she said, you see in the band, the end of that sea, these lights? And he would say, yes. Then she said, you know what that is? He said, no. Then she said, this is Constantine, which is known today as Istanbul. You see that light? That's the lights of the Romans, the Byzantine Empire there. One day you will conquer this city. Every day or every other day, his mother take him to the road, to the shore, and show him the lights of that city. And one day he conquered that city, and known as Muhammad al-Fatih, the opener, Muhammad, rahimahullah ta'ala. One of our people today, modern days, I'm just giving you a few examples here and there. The famous Egyptian scientist, Ahmed Zuhail, Dr. Ahmed Zuhail, very famous Nobel Prize, winner. When he was a kid, when he was still in elementary school, he would write in his notebook and in his door and his books and his basically belongings, Dr. Ahmed. He would write Dr. Ahmed. Not because arrogant, but because that's a goal that he wanted to achieve. And he became one of the most recognizable scientists, rahimahullah al-jamii'. Yes, I know that all this success that people achieve in their lives, it's a fadl and minnah and tawfiq and guidance and the blessings from Allah to them. Yes, I have no doubt in that as well. But also, beside that, it's an attitude. It's a way of life. It is a certain pattern that those people have taken, have led them to achieve the success that they want. I have observed some of the following points in my life. I consider the major reasons we sometimes fail to meet the goals that we set for ourselves. And the first one is excuses, excuses, excuses. I mean, we all make excuses, to be fair, okay? But there are often easier to come up with the reasons why we need to do something. It is so easy to come up with excuses. Why didn't I do it? Why can't I do it? It's much easier than to come with the reason why I should do it. Why I can't do it? Why I didn't do it? It's much easier. It's basically an attitude that people take versus how can I do it? What it need to be done to do it? Sometimes it seems so easier and safer not doing something or not doing anything at all, and then tackling that with needs to be taken care of, and we have always these excuses ready to justify our laziness. I personally come up with many excuses sometimes when I feel scared, when I feel afraid, intimidated, anxious, or simply lazy. I just come with all the excuses I have for myself, and it just make me feel basically good about my failure. and good about just being in that comfort zone. And I think that's not right. And these excuses can range from, I don't have time for it, all to what? That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have decreed upon me. And in between these two brackets, all kind of excuses comes. And I want to say that a man can fail many times, but he is not a failure until he begins blaming somebody else for his failure. Until you start having this you hang on at all your failure. So make sure that you basically quit excuses. My advice, every time you think about excuse, tell yourself, don't make an excuse. Make a good. Make something good. Just don't think about excuse to justify you being not doing anything. And talking about excuses, I want to mention something also important. I found this trap, a lot of people fall into it. I call it al-a'iq al-wahid, the ultimate excuse. With people put one thing, if this thing goes away, everything will be perfect. You just choose one thing, and you always have that one thing. You know what? If I graduate, everything will be different. Just let me finish until I graduate, and you will see me a different person. Just wait until I make Hajj. And when I make Hajj, everything will start. Just wait until the new year starts. When the new year starts, I'm ready for it. You know what? Just wait until the stock market goes up a little bit higher. Just wait for that. I'm just waiting to have more money. And when I get money, I will be donor, I will be this, I will be do that. You know what? I'm waiting until I learn Arabic. When I learn Arabic, mashallah, I will start reading Quran and seeking knowledge. Just waiting for this. Just waiting to get rid of this work. And you know what? Finish my work and I will be volunteering in the masjid and coming regularly. You know what? I can't make da'wah now because I'm doing, just let me, inshallah, when I quit these sins and I change my life and I become more religious, I will be better. Let me just find a job and let my kids just grow up older and I will be ready to participate. And that's how the shaitan take you from one step to another, making this whole entire reason not you doing anything. It's because one little thing. And that's not a little thing. That things is just basically sometimes cost you your life. Also, one of the things that I want to say, it's important to pay attention to it, to magnifying our fears more than we do to our abilities. One of the reasons we don't succeed, we just magnify our failure, our fear from failure. Fear of failure has killed so many dreams before even they were born or see the light. There is a Japanese saying or proverb says, fear is only as deep as the mind allows. Remember that. So fear is only as deep as the mind allows. Fear robs us from our self-confidence and allows us to come up with reasons why we cannot do things or make them happen. Grab your fears by the horns and stop underestimating yourself. Stop thinking little about yourself or less of yourself. You are more capable than what you think of. Stop letting fear of what people might say about you stopping you from achieving your dreams. Stop fearing from the future, stopping you from pursuing your dreams. Stop fearing your past experience from stopping you to enjoy your present. Stop fearing from failure and fear from mistakes, stopping you from trying to do what is right. Basically, magnify your opportunities. Don't magnify your fear. Remember, the shadow is always bigger than the reality. Another point, sometimes we don't achieve what we want. We don't have a strong why. What does your goal mean to you really? Why you have set it up? Many times we don't achieve our goals because we don't have a very strong why. That's why in Sharia, there is always wisdoms mentioned. There is always reward mentioned. To motivate you. So you have always something that, you know what, there is a reason behind me doing this. Why I'm motivated to do that. We sometimes chase after things because others expect us to do. Or because simply my parents want me to be. Like many of those, especially accountants, I asked him, why you're an accountant? You love numbers that much? He said, oh, my parents want me to be an accountant. Yeah, it's a common thing. You know, is it something really you love to do? Why you want to be a physician? Why you want to be this? Why you want to be that? Why you want to learn this? Why you want to come to this event? If there is a strong why, I can guarantee you there will be an actions and you will achieve what you want. When we set goals for the wrong reasons and chase after things we don't really need or desires, we aren't driven to pursue them, commit to them, or achieve them. We end up wasting our time, our resources, our money, our life, our energy on things that most likely we're not going to achieve. And if we achieve it, we're not happy with it. And I want you to remember something. Why is not it's not only logical thing. Like sometimes I know why. I want to be this, why? For 1, 2, 3, logically I understand why I should do that. You know what? I want to lose weight for 1, 2, 3 reason, health reason, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? I found also logical reasons are not enough to keep us motivated. A human being is not only aql, is not only logic, also feelings. You have to be motivated about it. You have to something that you love, you want, you're happy to have, you're happy to pursue. So make sure that you don't don't ignore your feelings as well. Number 4, one of the things that I found why we don't achieve our goals, because we don't set our priorities right. There are times when I choose to keep up with the news or Mr. Trump's Twitters over, doing my work and preparing my classes. There is time where I keep following things and getting distracted easily from the thing that I'm supposed to be doing. It's amazing how we manage to find time for these things which they don't really matter the most. We found all the time for them, and we don't find time for things that matter the most to us. It's interesting. It's never ever about having time, but more so about making time. And I will tell you one thing about setting your priorities straight. One of the best things about setting your priorities straight in life, it creates balance in your life. Many young people especially ask me, especially young graduates, Sheikh, how can I set balance in my life? Work, new family, saving, da'wah, learning, being active in community, many things I want to balance. And I tell you, the key to balance your life is to set your priorities straight. The more you know what are your priorities in life are, the more you can balance your life. But if you don't have your priorities set straight, you will be all over the place. Because if you became all over the place, you're trying everything, you're trying basically, you're hard at everything, you're going to end up with nothing. Because as we all know, it is very easy to become a jack of all trades than a master and a master of none. That's an easy thing to achieve. But to focus on one thing to master, or to put your priorities straight, to master it and to basically finish this, then go to the next, what's important for me, that's a key to success. Another reason for a lot of people don't succeed, simply because they have no plan. Your plan is your GPS. That would take you basically your navigation. How to go from A to B. And if you don't have a plan, you most likely you're not going to end up where you want to be. Running around like a chicken, basically headless, is not a fun thing. And it's not going to make you achieve what you want. That's why in Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam and the Prophet's life is so clear. They have very clear ideas what they want to achieve. Very clear plan how they want to achieve this and how they want to do that. Also, one of the things that I noticed, that there is a lot of talk, especially when it comes to goals and New Year's resolutions. A lot of talk, but there is no really commitment. Real commitment does not exist. How many persons in this masjid today are listening to my talk now had said to himself, I want to learn Quran. I want to memorize Quran. Many of us. But how many of us really committed to that? How many of us really spend and invested time, money, effort in learning the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? It's just all talk. It's just we said we want. I feel bad about it for a few seconds, few minutes, maybe a few hours, this pain remain. Then after that, we move on. You know what I'm talking about. Unless you're fully committed, following through with what you have set for yourself to do, otherwise, most likely, you're not going to achieve it. Also, one of the things that help a lot to accomplish in your life, to set deadlines for yourself. I have one brother here in this masjid. He always taught me this, and I'm very grateful to him. Every time I ask someone to do something, he tell me, hey, give them a deadline. He said, in business, you always put deadline for people. Because that's really what makes people plan properly and achieve. And you see, did I achieve my goals or not? So have deadlines for yourself. Because if you hit the deadline and you didn't achieve what you want, that's the time to review, to basically reevaluate your work. So if you have a deadline for yourself, for example, to improve your Quran or your recitation or your attendance to Salah, or to improve your relationship with your family, reevaluate. Okay, I have like by 4 months, 3 months, I got to reevaluate what I have done and so forth. One of the things that I noticed, and it is very interesting, and I notice it a lot in young generation, giving up when they are going through, when basically when things getting tough. People ready to drop the ball, as they say, to throw the towel, to quit. Unfortunately, we're living in a generation and in a time where basically people cannot take pressure. With any little bit of pressure, people give up. When any bit of pressure, people basically ready to quit. You know why? Because we live in a life now, these days, where we are so used to quick fix. Thanks for the new pharmaceutical industrial. Everything is a quick fix. You have a headache, there's a quick fix. You have a stomach, a quick fix. Everything is just a drug culture. It's very fast. It's how things, even the computer, the things, we just want to instantly things happen. We have no patience, we have no sabr, we have no perseverance, we have no basically resistance, we're not tough enough. We became very soft. That's why any pressure can break us. I say we do, even the community at large. When any pressure on the community, just people give up. And willing not to have the fight. And that's not a good attitude. Successful people, they go through tough time, hard time. There's nobody just take it for, it doesn't come easy. This is how the life is. لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ يَقُولُ Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This life is hard. It's not easy, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us. So that's one of the things. And whenever you go through a tough time and a hard time, make sure that you always remember, a dua is a very good tool to help you during that tough time. To pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Friends, family members, people who can consult and help and support you are well needed in the time of during tough time. But don't give up just because you're going through a tough time or it's hard for you. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala أن يوفقنا وإياكم لكل خير. أقول ما سمعتم واستغفر الله لي ولكم استغفر. الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده وبعد. In Al-Andalus, in Spain, there is this man also sitting with two of his friends. His name Muhammad ibn Abi Amr. He told his two friends, and those people work hammarin. You know what's hammarin? Hammarin, yani they have mules or donkeys that they carry people from one place to another. Very low type of job. It's very poor, they just work on that donkey. So he told his friends, if I became the caliph, the president of Spain, Al-Andalus, the most, prestigious country in that world, what would you like me to do for you? They started laughing at him. I said, you don't even own the donkey that you have. You smell like this basically, you smell bad, you look bad. How can you become a Khalifa? You have nothing. He said, just in case, what would you like? So the first one said, if you really became a Khalifa, I would like you to give me 100,000 pieces of gold. And I would like you to give me 100 servants. And I would like you to give me not donkeys anymore. I want a barn filled with horses, Arabian horses. And I want also for you to give me beautiful palace. Got it, everything for free. Then the other guy said, you would never be a Khalifa. He said, just hypothetically, what would you do? He said, if you became a Khalifa, I want you to let me ride the donkey backwards, which is in culture, in Arabic culture, it's a form of humiliation. Backwards, my face basically facing back. And I want you to bring everybody around me and tell everyone this person is a liar, this person is a bad person, nobody allowed to talk to him. If anyone talked to him, I put him in jail. I want you to humiliate me in public. Just to make the story short, this guy went and he sold his donkey, this Muhammad ibn Abi Amr. He sold his donkey, and with the money, he traveled from his village to Qurtuba. Take first step. A lot of us, we need to sell our donkeys. Every one of us has a donkey need to be sold. That obstacles that's stopping you from growing. That fear that's holding you back from taking your first step. He traveled to Qurtuba, he became in the army. He actually ended up the chief of the police, which is very high position in Qurtuba, in Qurtuba. Then years goes by, and guess what? And this person, not the Khalifa, died, and his son, who was 10 years old, became the one on the top of the throne. So the Muslim at that time said, 10 years old boy cannot lead. So they choose 3 people to be wasi, in charge of the Khalifa, counsel the Khalifa. Our man, Muhammad, was one of them, Al-Amri. Then soon the other 2 quit, and he became in charge of the Khalifa. And he reached to a level, he ruled for many years, about 15 years or so, he became the Khalifa. And if you search in Al-Bidayah and Nihaya, if you search in Google and you said the Umayyad states, actually there's a period of time it doesn't known as the Umayyad states. It became the Amiri states after the name of this man. They call him Al-Khalifatul Hammar. 30 years between that conversation, and he became on the top of the country, feared by whole Europe. His story is amazing. Ibn Kathir rahimahullah wrote it in his book of history. Then he said, look for these 2 guys in Qurtuba, still alive, bring them to me. And they brought them to him. And he fulfilled the first person's wishes. It's a conversation, I don't want to go into the details, but you can imagine it. And the second one, he told him, and what about you? What was your wishes? He said, please forgive me. I don't want to say it. He said, no, say it. In front of everybody. And after he stated, he said, you got what you wished for. And he did to him what he wished for. And he said, let my guard or my soldiers who are taking him around the city on the donkey backwards, says to everyone, let everyone know, قَلْ يَكْتُبْ الْكَاتِبْ وَلْيَقُلْ صَاحِبُ الشُّرْطَةِ. You write to everyone that إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. That Allah is capable of everything. There's so many things to learn from the story, but my point is, do not give up your dreams. I'm sure your car outside is better than that donkey. I'm sure that you can be much better than what you are today in all aspects of life. So I really, from the bottom of my heart, I wish each and every one of you a very successful, happy New Year. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless you and to bless your days and nights and your family and your wealth and your health. And to bless your deen and your dunya. And to make your tomorrow better than yesterday. And to make us among those who listen to the speech and follow the best of it. I ask Allah to forgive our sins and to give us the ability to conquer our fear and to fulfill our destinies and to reach our full potential. اللهم آمين. اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى. آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين. اللهم اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا. وصل اللهم وسلم على نبينا محمد وقوموا للصلاة يرحمكم الله.